Hello, welcome back to my channel Christian Faith and Fiction. My name's Lou, and today I wanted to talk to you about the new Christian fiction books that are coming up in the second half of 2022 that I am most excited about. If you're new to my channel, I make videos about Christian books, mostly fiction, some non-fiction, and I share a little bit about the recent reads that I've been reading as well. If that's something you think you'd be interested in, then please do consider subscribing. And if you find something valuable in this video, then please do give it a like. I'm not going to go into the full description of these books, but I'll put a link in the description box below on YouTube where you can go to my blog and you can read through the full description of any books that you're interested in. Right, so in July, I think there are 3 books that are coming out that I am interested in. The first one is by Colleen Coble, who writes like romantic suspense, contemporary Christian books, and that's called Edge of Dusk. I have read couple of her series, one older one more recent, and enjoyed them both. She seems to mix the romance and the suspense sort of elements, murder mystery elements together in a way that I appreciate. It's not, the ones that I've read anyway have not been too graphic, so I'm hoping these ones will be too. I think this is the first book in a new series, the Annie Pedersen series. And it's taking place in Rock Harbour, which I think she had a series previously that was in that one as well. And then also in July we have the Italian Ballerina by Kristy Cambron. She's one of my favourite historical authors. She writes sometimes dual time period ones, sometimes multiple POV stories. Her book last year was the Paris Dressmaker, which I really loved. It was one of my favourite books of last year, so I'm really excited to pick up her Italian version of it. I think it's still in, yes, Nazi occupation of Rome, so World War II, and to do with saving Italian Jews. I'm not sure how she's going to, yes, there's 2 time periods. I don't know how many POVs it's going to be split up, but present day and in 1943. I visited Rome a few years ago, and so I'm excited to read a book set in that place and see if I can remember any of the places. I don't really know much about what it was like in the war, except that one of my relatives was in Italy at some point during the war. And then there's a fantasy book coming out by published by Enclave, and they usually publish Christian or inspirational type fantasy and sci-fi books, and that is The Wonderland Trials by Sara Ella. And this is based on Alice in Wonderland, and I think has some connection to it somehow, maybe going back into Wonderland, I'm not sure. And also one of the characters is called Alice Liddell, which I think was the character that the books were originally based on. And it's set in Oxford, and I have connections to Oxford. At least it starts there, so I'm really excited to pick that one up. And then in August it should be Blood Secrets by Morgan L. Busse is coming out. This is the sequel to Secrets in the Mist, and continuing in that it's kind of a dystopian, I guess, world. The world has developed some kind of mist that turns people into zombies, and everyone lives on kind of the tops of mountains, like islands, but there are people who go in kind of diving suits down into the mist. It's it's a steampunk series. I'm not sure if this is going to be a duology, whether this will be like the conclusion or whether there'll be another book added on next year, but I am really interested to see where she takes that. And then another fantasy book releasing in September is Wishtress by Nadine Brandes, and this interests me because of the beautiful cover that it's got, but also it's another, supposedly, I think it's a Christian fantasy anyway, and it follows a character who has the ability to turn her tears into wishes. Nadine is quite a well-known author, I think, in Christian circles, but I haven't read any of her books, but this one sounds interesting. Then another book that's releasing in September is Worthy of Legend by Rosanna M. White, which is book 3 in the Secrets of the Isles series, and this is set in the Scilly Isles, which are off the coast of Cornwall. I really enjoyed her Code Breakers series in the past, so I'm wanting to pick up this series soon, although it's now on book 3 and I still haven't started book 1 yet, but I really want to get to that one at some point. It's a historical fiction. And lastly, in September, To Win a Prince by Toni Shiloh is releasing, and this is the second book that follows on In Search for Prince, which I read earlier this year and really enjoyed it. The thing that I enjoyed the most about it is it has really a lot of faith content, and the character Brielle learns that she is actually a princess in that kingdom and the heir to the throne, and she has to make a decision about what to do about that. And then this second book that's coming out is following her best friend Iris. In October, The Lost Melody by Joanna Davidson Politano is due to release. This is following a concert pianist, and there's a mystery about someone who's left in her care who's supposed to be there, isn't there. Her books tend to be historical mysteries, and I've been meaning to pick up one of her books for quite some time now, a few years. Haven't got around to it, but they all sound really interesting to me, and this one does as well. Then in November, The Brilliance of Stars by Janelle Chazilski releases. I read her book The Ice One last year and I really enjoyed that one. Again, it's another historical fiction. I think this is one set in World War One. The tagline is, amid the chaos of the Great War, 2 master assassins risk it all for love. And finally, there are 2 books in December that have really caught my eye. One is The Sisters of Sea View by Julie Klassen, and this is going to be book 1 in the series on Devonshire shores. And I'm really interested to read this one because I live in Devon. I think the county name used to be Devonshire. It's Shire, by the way, if you're wanting to pronounce it correctly. It's not Devonshire. Shire is where the hobbits live. Shire is how we pronounce like county names, so like Yorkshire, Lincolnshire. My county name is now Devon, but we still refer to things that are from Devon as Devonshire. So like Devonshire cream tea, or there's a flower called the Devonshire dumpling. The picture on the cover actually looks like somewhere that's just up the coast from me, so I'm really interested to see where she's going to set it, whether it'll be in a real place or whether it's like a place that she's made up, and whether I'll kind of recognise things about it or not. And the last book is also historical fiction, and it's All the Lost Places by Amanda Dykes. And this one really has captured my imagination because it's set in Venice, at least part of it anyway. And Venice is a place that I've always wanted to visit in Italy, and I never have done yet. So I'm really interested to read about it. And it's set in 1807 and then years later, so in the 19th century in Venice, and that sounds really interesting to me. I think there's a gondola on the front cover. I enjoyed one of Amanda Dykes' books that I've read before, Whose Waves These Are? Where else? Oh, it's there. Whose Waves These Are. I think it was written in first person present tense, which is not to everybody's taste. I don't know about this one, what it's going to be in, but I still liked her writing, and I'm excited to read that one. So let me know down in the comments if you are interested in any of those books, or if you've got other books that are coming up that you know about that you really want to read. Let me know about those as well. Thank you so much to those who have subscribed, liked, commented. I really do value that and appreciate that and like to hear from you. I hope you have a really great reading week, and until next time, God bless. Bye.